We're joined now by head coach Caleb Porter. Caleb, thank you for joining us today. We're going to start with questions here in the room. Jeff, fire away.
Hey, Caleb. I know you've liked a lot of what you've seen over the course of the past month, a lot of the progress that's been made, but you also said on Tuesday there's always room to get better. It's always about more progress. So now that the results are there, the goals are there, what's sort of that next step in the process for you as this group continues to look to get better?
Yeah, we're still only, a third of the way through the season, so we're just scratching the surface of the team that we can be, the team that we need to be. So we got to keep improving, and we'll be focused on that. Continuing to get better individually and collectively, continuing to defend well, continuing to create chances, continuing to score more and more goals. Continuing to get results. We'll keep taking it, one at a time. This, kind of this next quarter, if you will, is probably the most difficult quarter because we're on the road the entire month of May, and 6 of 7 on the road. I think it's 7 of 8 if you include the Open Cups. So it's going to be our most difficult stretch. Good news is we've done well in a few games on the road, and we're a good defensive team, so that's important on the road, and we're starting to get our attack going.
And I know for a stretch like that, obviously it's valuable to have as many healthy bodies available as possible, and the group has gotten healthier over the past couple of weeks. We've talked about what that's done for the starting 11, but by extension, it also makes your bench a little deeper. So how valuable is that as a coaching staff to just have some different options, maybe different ways to change a game?
Yeah, it's good in a lot of ways. One, you have the ability to rotate. Obviously, the Open Cup coming up, you can compartmentalize the competitions, and you're not chewed up playing the same guys in every game with midweek games. The second thing, it's good for competition and training. The training level goes up because the audition for parts every day is more difficult, and then the third thing, it's great because the guys you put in off the bench give you a push, and we have a lot of options off the bench that can bring more attack, and give us a push there if we need a goal. We have a lot of options to kind of kill the game with guys that can come in and give us more defending. So, it gives us more decisions to make for sure, but I like that, because for me the players pick the lineup based on their performances in the training and in the games. So, and it's easier when you win too. Obviously, when you win, then the guys that played, feel good about that. The guys off the bench come in and they're hungry because they want to be in there. And right now we have a very good culture in this team. I mentioned that to the guys the other day. They're competitive. They're competing in every drill. They're hungry, and they trust each other. And when they trust each other, they're going to be a little bit here and there, some disagreements, and that's great. These guys want to win, so I love that. I love the training environment that we have right now.
All right, we'll take questions from the Zoom. We'll start with Frank DeLappa. He'll be followed by Seth McCumber. Frank, you're unmuted.
Good. Hey, Caleb. It's been a while since I think this team had back-to-back shutouts. So can you talk about the emphasis on defending? And did you have to address a mindset when you got here? Because this team before you got here had been set up really to think offense first.
Yeah, for me, defending is a part of winning. It's an important part of winning. Obviously, so is attacking, and so is scoring goals. But to be a good team, a team that's consistent, and a team that's going to have a chance to win every game, and a chance that's going to have a chance to win a trophy someday, you have to be a good defensive team. Doesn't mean that you just defend. I think sometimes people take the fact that you're a good defensive team as it's a negative because you just want to protect and defend. We're not just sitting in a low block all game. We're playing aggressive, both sides of the ball. We're pressing high. There are times, we're in a low block. I'd like to see us, playing a little higher for, more than 60 minutes. I think sometimes we play really aggressive first halves, and second halves we protect a little more. I'd like to see us control more the game and not be in that low block. But what's great about this system we're playing right now is, in every third and every phase, the numbers work out really well.
Next, we'll go to Seth McCumber. He'll be followed by Caleb Pongratz. Seth, you're unmuted.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for taking the time. Earlier this week, the club traded Noah Buck. I'm just curious what went into that. And along that same lines, I was watching Revs 2 last night, and Allen and Eric Klein did really well. And I'm wondering if the pipeline was a factor at all in that decision.
Yeah, it was. It was. First and foremost, we wish Noel all the best. And a big reason we made that move was for him. It was we felt what was best for him. Obviously, he's a homegrown player. We care about all our players, but we care about our homegrown players. And it's important in the situation we were in that we do what's right for a player like Noel Buck. With him, we had 6 players for 2 spots. 3 of those players were very experienced players, Yusuf and Matt and Jackson Ewell. And then, for sure, a big factor is we had a 17 and 18-year-old, 2 kids that we're really keen on. And in Eric Klein and Alan O'Yerwath, get that right. We've watched those 2 guys and had them in our training sessions every single day, and we knew enough about them to feel very good about their future. So, not every homegrown gets the chance to continue playing. We have to be mindful of the now and the future, and we just felt like with 6 players for 2 spots that it was the right thing for Noel to allow him to go and play a bigger role, because for his future, he wasn't making every bench. He wasn't playing a ton, and we just felt like for his future and the future of some of our other young players coming through that it was the right thing, for him and us.
And next we'll go to Caleb Pongratz, followed by Sam Minton. Caleb?
Hey, Coach. I just wanted to ask really on Luca Langoni. He hasn't started since the April 5th game. He came in last year with a hefty price tag and is now, this season, came off the bench a couple of times, been substituted early a couple of times. Is he a concern at all for you? And how are you monitoring him as a player?
Playing really well as a team. We've obviously won 2 games in a row. We've won 3 or 4. My number one focus is to win games. And Luca's a good player. He's going to be a big part of what we're doing. No, I'm not concerned with anything. He's a part of this team. I like him as a player very much. Obviously, the system change has meant that he would most likely be a wingback. We've been pleased with our wingbacks, but he's still going to play a big role for us.
We'll take one more question. That'll go to Sam Minton. Sam, you're unmuted.
Hello, Caleb. Hope you're doing well. Speaking of those wingbacks, just wanted to talk about Ilay Feingold. Just overall, how do you feel he's acclimated to the league, and just overall, what stands out about his play so far?
I think what stands out for me is just how mature he is for his age. I mean, he's 20 years old, and he's very mature. He's a smart player. He has a great mentality. He's very complete. He's fit, he's athletic, he's technical, tactically he's smart, and he's extremely focused and hungry. He's got a bright future. We feel like with Peyton and him, we have 2 of the better wingbacks. Obviously, they're still young. I just spent about 30 minutes with both of them watching film. So there are a lot of little things they can do better. But in the end, I think this system really suits them. It fits them. And, because they're young and athletic, they can cover ground. They can help us press. They can play box to box. They can get into the final third. I think there's more goals to be had through them at times. They need to get the final ball right. But they're both great players and great professionals. definitely mature beyond their years.
All right, we're joined now by Revolution defender Ilay Feingold. We'll get started with questions in the room here, and then we'll take questions from the Zoom. Jeff?
Hey, Eli. Obviously, the first few appearances for you this season were playing on the right side of a four-man backline. Well, on the left side of a four-man backline a little bit too. But last couple games, the system has been a little bit different. So it's been more of a wing-back role. So how does that minor change maybe change that position and how you operate a little bit as a wing-back as opposed to a straight right back?
Yeah, I like it because it gives me more space, in the attacking side. I feel more involved in the attacking side because in this kind of system, so I'm like a winger. But yeah, as I said, this system works very well in the last games. So yeah, I really enjoy it, and I just hope that we'll keep play like that.
Do you have to up the cardio to get up and down the wing?
It's so hard. But yeah, I mean, this is what this role needs. But yeah, I try to do it.
And this weekend, you guys are in Charlotte. It's a Charlotte team that's 5-0-0 at home this season. They've been really good at home, but with you guys in good form, and do you like this opportunity to go really test yourselves in a difficult place to play?
Yeah, we're in really good form, but we respect Charlotte. They're first place and they're doing very well this season. We need to play very smart. Like we played in the last games, and I'm sure that we're gonna do a good result. But we have to stay, calm, very humble, like we did in the last games, and I hope we're gonna do a good result.
All right, we'll take questions from the Zoom. We'll start with Sam Minton. Sam, you're unmuted.
Eli, hope you're doing well. I just kind of wanted to ask, your coach Caleb Porter just kind of complimented kind of your maturity and kind of, your knowledge of the game. Just how do you go about kind of studying the game and kind of trying to refine your skills? Just how do you kind of try and approach things?
Yeah, so I think I try to improve myself game by game, training by training. I play hard, and also I train hard, in order to get better and to improve myself. So Caleb really helps me with that things, and I really appreciate it. And also my teammates, with the guys with the more experience than me, the older guys. So yeah, it's good for me.
Next, we'll go to Frank DeLappa. Frank, you're unmuted.
Good, Eli. Kind of a two-parter. Just talk about how you find that balance on the wing where you've got to defend, and I think they really want you to get forward too. You seem good at finding that balance. And the second part of the question is, did you have any role models or favorite players growing up in that position, or any position actually?
Yeah. So first about let's say my inspiration in my position. So let's say Danny Alves probably is a player that I used to watch when I was a kid. He's, I think, all-around player. He did a good defense, also good attack. And as you said about, the balance in this role. So as you said, like, you need a good cardio and good stamina for that kind of thing. So it's so hard, but, this is the modern football, The game is so fast, so quick, and you have to do box-to-box very well. And, I try to do it as my best.
Next, we'll go back to Sam Minton. Sam, you're unmuted.
And Eli, Caleb's obviously kind of talked about how he sat down with players one-on-one. Obviously he is, praising you, but just how important is it to have a support system in your coach or in your players? Just how important is that support?
Yeah, I mean, the support is so important, it gives me a lot of confidence. I mean, it's very nice, it's very easy, to be, player under these kind of coaches. And I'm really happy with that. But at the end, the most important thing is that we keep playing like how we played in the last 4 games. I mean, really good results. We're playing positive football. We just have to keep that.